0, 1. Let's get started.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Black and White United Show. I'm your host Andreas, thanks for tuning in. Just off the bat really quickly, special shout out to RCCS for giving me that plug on their Facebook page. Much appreciated, guys. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I've hit over 200 subscribers now, which is like insane. And the Instagram is over 100 followers now, so that's pretty awesome. I didn't think I'd get anywhere near that when I first started this, so yeah, much appreciated. Just quickly, we're going to go over just some stuff from the Copeland Trophy. There is going to be some movement with some trades from what I know, mid to early next week with the Dan Houston side of things. Joe Richards, John Noble, that pick 13, one of our second round picks. There's a lot of stuff that's going to happen. It's in the talks now. I have it on good authority that the Club 42 function that happened last Thursday night, Lepic wasn't there. He was on the blower, getting stuff done, talking to other clubs and everything. And that's coming from people who were there. So things are going to be moving very quickly next week, I do believe. And if nothing does happen straight away, we're going to get some major clarity on what's going on. So I'll leave that for excuse me. I'll leave that for next week. But let's talk about the Copeland Trophy. Now, I had my top five written down. I had Dacos winning it, Cameron second, Josh third, so I got them three. I had Bruzzy in fourth and Crisp in fifth. It ended up being Dacos, Cameron, Josh, and then Crisp in fourth and Sidey in fifth. So, you know, I wasn't too far off, but in hindsight, I probably should have had Sidey in there, but it is what it is. He was pretty consistent throughout the whole season. So, look, I'm not going to talk about all the top five who won it. I'm not even going to talk about Nick Dacos because he was just... Actually, I will talk about Nick Dacos because he's fucking God. But that shit period that we played, where we lost those 4 games in a row, he pulled really well on the Brownlow then. So I'm pretty confident that... There's a bit of noise in the background, sorry. There's that period there, I think, won him the Copeland more than anything because Darcy Cameron was pretty close on his heel. So I want to talk about Darcy Cameron and I want to talk about Josh Dacos because I think Josh is going under the radar, something vicious at the moment, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that he's going under the radar. And it's really good for us because a lot of the other sides have been so focused on Nick. Where before Nick came, Josh was all the focus. Like those 2021 seasons, like Josh was one of our main guys that they would tag or they'd get on when he played. So with Nick here, Josh is flying under the radar, and it was evident last year when he actually won the BNF. So look, Darcy Cameron, I reckon, is probably the most unluckiest runner-up ever because in any other season, he probably wins the Copeland Trophy. His role, and I've said this in other videos, his role was so important for us this year, as was like last year as well. But I found that this year his marking around the ground, so whenever it was along the wings, in the centre, in the forward 50, in defensive 50, his contested marking was like so reliable, and it was like break glass in emergency in a contest because Mason Cox is like pretty all over the shop when he's on. He's not dropping anything, but if he's slightly off, he's dropping fucking everything. You know what I mean? So Cameron's season, I think it was just he was so stiff not to be able to actually win it. But then you look at Nick Dacos and see what he did, and you know I'm surprised Paddy Cripps didn't vote for us. Like, I'm surprised he didn't win our fucking Copeland, to be honest. But anyway, so Josh, he had... I don't know if he had an injury throughout the season or whatever, but he went so under the radar. There was games where like, we didn't even notice too much of what he was doing, where I thought like towards the end of the season he really stood up. Like that last game against Melbourne, like he took the piss. Like him and Nick both got 40 disposals. The King's birthday game he was amazing. I think I can't remember how many positions he got then, but it was closer to the 40s. And I don't think he even got a vote. They gave it to Nick instead. So, yeah, I think he was the quiet achiever this year, considering that his brother was getting all the attention. So, yeah, overall, the top five I'm pretty happy with. I don't see much issue with that. I thought Sidey was pretty consistent throughout the whole season. There was games where Sidey only polled like less than 20, like he only got less than 20 disposals, but he was just fantastic throughout the whole game. So, and then Crispy, like the game against Essendon, that second game against Essendon where he just like dominated like the entire time, especially in that first half, that first quarter, was awesome. But he was like just Mr. Consistent the whole time this season. So, look, let's be real. I streamed the Copeland. I watched it. I thought considering the season that we had, they were pretty upbeat by it. And Lepic was saying, we were 2 points off eighth, right? So one of those draws we win, we finish eighth. We're one game off fifth, and that's where Brisbane finished. And look what happened. And he said a line of he was basically in a nutshell. He said that the season we didn't play bad, but it is what it is. Now I think that's also a reflection of how equal the competition is. But how we didn't make finals, but even the coaches and the players are feeling it. It's just frustrating. I liked it how the players said. I think it was Nick said that I thought it was Sidey, when he won the Darren Mullane award, he was saying that he hated he's glad the season was over. He hated watching it. And I feel like from what the players were saying and from Fly's speech, they're pretty G'd up. They're not happy with the way it went this year. So take it as a hangover. Take it for what it is. Yeah. I didn't mind watching it, but it was... I don't know. I just thought about last season the whole time. I don't know about you guys. I was pretty mellow during it, but oh well. So that's the Copeland. Dacos, Cameron, Josh, Crisp, Sidey. Drop a comment and tell me who you think was the unlucky one not to make a top five. I reckon Bruzzy was a bit stiff not to make a top five. And everyone else is injured, but, So we had one of those seasons where, they were probably our main five. I think Bruzzy was a bit stiff not to be in there, but it is what it is. Anyway, that's all from me tonight. But please make sure you like and subscribe. Kept it pretty chill tonight. We'll just go over the Copeland. That's about it, really. So stay tuned next week. It's going to be a big week next week. There'll be quite a few videos coming out. We are going to have lots of trade talk or lots of free agency movements. I think next week's going to be a big week for our footy club. I think we're going to get some real clarity on what's happening. I think the Houston thing is coming back up again. From what I've heard, right, between us, he wants to go to Carlton, right? Now, my personal opinion, if he wants to go to Carlton, fuck off. Don't push it. Let him go. If he doesn't want to come to us, I don't want a player coming in being a bit sour. And that's just the rumours that are going out there. But, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think everyone's going to be saying that now. Also, off topic for a second, North Melbourne delisted Curtis Taylor. Now, drop a comment and tell me if you think he could be one of those recycled players that come in. I don't know, because I'd put Curtis Taylor in the forward line before Kruger, before Ash Johnson, before Reef. I don't know. He's got 70-something games experience. He's 24, I think? I don't know. Drop a comment. Tell me what you think. Keep the conversation going. Anyway, call it as you see it. Go the fucking Pies.